Hi, I'm Austin Costello, and you're watching a podcast where nostalgia comes alive. It's Jake's Happy Nostalgia Show. Roll it!
Welcome to Jake's Happy Nostalgia Show, where nostalgia comes alive. Join Jake and his friends on a journey through pop culture of the past, where they interview professionals in the worlds of acting, directing, writing, puppeteering, and so much more. Who will they be chatting with today? Find out in this Jake's Happy Nostalgia Show episode.
Hello everyone, welcome to this episode of Jake's Happy Nostalgia Show, where nostalgia comes alive. I'll be here with this. Thank you for joining. As always, I'm your host, Jake Duffenball. And today, of course, our co-host, Chris Bixby and Matt Bingle. How you guys doing?
Doing good.
Doing
Hi,
good.
everyone. How are you, Jake?
I'm doing great, Matt. Thank you for asking.
Excellent. Who do we have today?
What's today's guest we have for today? He's a dancer and a choreographer. A lot of you in Muppet fandom might know him. Notably as being the back half performer for Snuffy on Sesame Street since 1979. And of course, we'll talk more things of Sesame-wise and more throughout his career later on. Please welcome Mr. Bryant Young. Happy to have you here. Welcome.
Hello.
But yeah, to those who don't know, it's Bryant's very first podcast interview. So welcome to the club, Bryant.
No pressure.
Yeah.
Yes, very happy to have you here.
We're very, very honored that you're here.
Yes, likewise.
Yeah.
Ron, to have you on. So thank you very much for your interest in being on. It's wonderful about that. So, really to kick things off, we know who you are, but for those who haven't, could you tell our audience a bit about yourself and what you do?
Let's see. Basically, I'm from Hawaii. I started dancing in Hawaii as well when I was at the University of Hawaii. Quite by accident, actually. I was an actor. My first role as an actor was actually in Hawaii Five-0, where
Oh, wow.
I told Garrett where the robbers were and I was basically on a boat, and I called into him and told him where the bad guys were hiding. So that was my original start in theater and television. And I started basically after college in University of Hawaii. I moved to California, and then I was in Colorado for a while, and then I moved back to Hawaii. And then while I was at the University of Oregon, I was getting my bachelor's degree as a broadcast journalist. So I started that, and while there, I got a second bachelor's degree as an actor as well, and I started doing my acting there as well. I also did some acting in high school, but that was more on the side. Let's see now. Eventually, when I got back to Hawaii after my stay in Colorado, I auditioned for a play there called The Point. I'm not sure if you're familiar with The Point, but The Point
I don't think so.
It's a song by some rock artists, and we did a brand new stage play, and I was told by the casting director the wrong address, the wrong date to audition. So it was a week later. So I was very, very not happy that I was not in the stage, in this production. So I was sitting in the green room, and this girl came by And she was really pissed. And I says, what do you have to piss you about? And I said, she said, I can't find any male dancers. I says, look, I really, really want to be in this production. I'll even dance if I need to. She said, do you have any training? I said, no. She says, well, I don't think we're going to need to use you then. So I says, well, what if you got to choose? I want to be in a production. You will need a dancer. What can I, so she said, okay, we'll go ahead and come, we'll probably not hire you, but go ahead and come to the audition. So the audition was, I attended the audition and they were just kind of like, oh, he's okay, he's okay. And then unfortunately, they decided to do an open dance, which is basically you just create music, dancing as as they put the music on. Unfortunately, they did disco because it was that time of the of you know, our lifetime. And I was really good on the discos. I would just basically blow people off the stage whenever we were dancing disco. So um, blew the choreographer away, and she actually made me lead dancer.
Oh,
So
nice.
I went to the production. I was in the production, and at the last performance, these three gentlemen came into the dressing room and they said, we would like you to continue dancing. And I'm saying, well, okay. So they said, we're going to give you an art scholarship for a bachelor's degree at University of Hawaii. And I'm going, well, I already got a bachelor's degree. I don't need another bachelor's degree. So they said, oh, well, then we'll give you a master's degree. So I says, oh, okay, I can do that. I'm not doing anything right now. So they uh, they put me into the school on a full scholarship. And let's see now. Basically, I did 3 years there and got my master's degree at the University of Hawaii in dancing and choreography and things like that. So let's see now. Basically, unfortunately, one of my teachers said, you're starting dancing really, really late, because I was already, when I graduated, I was 27. Now, I'm not sure if you know that most dancers start when they're 10 years old. So, you know, uh, I was really, really behind on a lot of the training. So after I graduated, so I told them, well, we'll see. I said, I'll do the best that I can. So after graduating from the University of Hawaii, I went to Europe and into Germany and started dancing with opera companies there. And I was for about 6 months and I got tired, and then their season ended. So I was back and heading back to Hawaii, and my layover was in New York City. So while I was there, I was calling some friends and things like that. And I called a friend of mine who was a teacher at the University of Hawaii. His name was Kermit Love. I'm sure all,
Oh, yes.
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 The
So,
wonderful Kermit Love.
yes. So he said, what are you doing now? I says, I'm just kind of passing through on my way back to Hawaii. He says, you want a job? I said, yeah, I'm not doing anything right now. Sure. So he says, okay, we're going to put you in as a guest star with the New York City Ballet. And I'm going,
Oh, okay.
what? And he said, no, so they're going to start. So I said, okay, I guess so. So we started in January. We started auditioning, and I said, "Who's going to be the choreographer?" So the choreographer is going to be George Balanchine. I'm not sure if any of you know of George Balanchine. He's the director of the New York City Ballet and probably a world-known choreographer of ballet.
Hmm. Nice.
So I went to the first rehearsal, and this little old man came by, and he says, "Okay, this is what I want you to do to dance." So he gave me all of the steps. He says, "You do this, you do this, you do this, you do this in this direction, and you do it in this direction, and then that's what you do." So I said, "Okay." So I started rehearsing it. And then he moved on to another group. Now, this ballet was called L'Enfant de le Sortilège. It's a it's a French opera ballet. And this is the first time that he's actually choreographed it for Dance in America.
Hmm.
So he so I said, okay, so I started rehearsing, and then he went over to another group. Now the L'Enfant de le Sortilège, the dancers were all animals, or I was at the time, what was I doing? I was doing a frog, and he went over to some other people that were. He went to the what was it? The storks, and then the flamingos, and then he went to the little croquettes and all kinds of things like that. So he did it to like about 6 different groups, and while I was rehearsing, and then he sat down and he said, "Okay, now we all do it together." And I'm going, "Oh, this is gonna be great." I mean, all of us doing it together, you got to be kidding, you know. And the music started, and it was amazing to watch all of these dancers intertwine without each other. And the only trouble that somebody had was that they missed, they forgot their step. But it basically was just kind of intertwined throughout each other. And I was saying, wow, this guy is really good. So anyway, we continued through the rehearsals, and then in the middle of February, they decided to postpone the taping for Dance in America and delay it until May. So I said to Kermit, I said, "Well, you can send me back to Hawaii so that I can try and find a job there, or find me here a job in New York." He said, "Oh, well, why don't you do Snuffy?" And I'm going, "Okay, why not? Sure." So he introduced me to Snuffy, and I started doing that for Sesame Street. That was in '79.
Yep.
Let's see now. And I guess they really liked me on Sesame Street because they decided to keep me, because I thought I was going to be there one season. So they loved, I guess they liked me, so they kept me on as Snuffy. Meanwhile, Dance in America came by, and we ended up shooting at the in Tennessee at the Grand Ole Opry. That
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
theater, yeah.
Nice.
And my role of just one ended up to be 7 separate roles.
Oh
Oh,
wow.
Yeah. And I ended up being casted second on the list of characters in that production. And that was a nice little thing that happened. Uh, So we finished with that. And then I also, when I was at dancing with New York City Ballet, George Balanchine came to me and he said, you know, you need to get a little bit more training, uh, you know, than what you're currently doing. So I'm going to put you into my school, which is the School of American Ballet, probably one of the top ballet schools in the United States, actually. So here I am, 27 years old, going to a ballet school where most of the kids are at the most teenaged, you know, and I'm walking into the class and everyone's going, oh my God, what's this guy doing in here? So, Balanchine let me go there for about 3 years, you know, and I upgraded my dancing and things like that. And then he passed away. I knew that I wasn't, you know, three of the people that were in as guest artists for the New York City Ballet, me being one of them, two of them got into the ballet, into the company. And I knew I was not going to get up to, because I never got to that level. So I left the school and I ended up dancing um, basically as a guest star for companies throughout the United States as a guest artist. And I actually represented the United States in Korea for a dance program there in Korea.
Oh,
So
nice.
that was really, really nice. So let me see now. So I was dancing a lot, and Sesame Street at that time, we were shooting about 36 weeks out of the year. And I would just basically work on Sesame Street for the 36 weeks. And then during the off time, that's when I was doing my guest dancing.
Ah,
Eventually the number of weeks started to get less and less and less as the monetary, you know, what we're getting from the cast Dance in America and the government properties that were uh, sending money to Sesame Street. That was getting less and less and less. So the number of weeks went lower and lower and lower. So eventually, you know, it got down to where you couldn't make a life, you know, making a career on just the amount of weeks that Sesame Street was offering. So, and I was getting to, you know, I danced until about 50. So at that time, I started directing uh, art at not-for-profit organizations. The first one that I took over was Dance in America. I mean, not Dance in America. It was called uh, what was it called? Oh gosh, the Spanish. It was a Spanish company. Uh, anyway, it was a Spanish dance company. That Spanish dance ballet company. Uh, so I was there for about a year and a half as their administrative director. Uh, I left them after about a year and a half and started working for a music company. I'm in a music school. So I was the administrative director for a music school for about a year. And then I moved over to the the Metropolitan Museum of Art, and I was in their finance company there. The finance division there for a while. So that kind of like allowed me to, stay in New York and work, and at the same time do Sesame Street as well. What event something we lost one of our stage managers who used to do all of the choreography for Sesame Street. So they asked me to come by and start doing some choreography for Sesame Street as well. I actually choreographed a scene with it's one that I had different dancing throughout the world and having puppets doing these during these dances.
Was it Baby Tooth and the Fuzzy Funk, like the ones with like those really long arms and legs?
I'm not sure. It was just it was someone did a ballet, somebody did a
Oh, okay.
Spanish one, somebody did a Mexican one, somebody did something in Polish, so I was just kind of like working with all of the people that were doing it. And I've done a couple other things. Sesame Street actually invited American Ballet and New York City Ballet. They had their top dancers come and do performances as well. And I was there also helping them so that they don't kill themselves on the hard floors. Yeah. So I was doing that for a while. And then let me see now. Eventually it got down to all I did was Sesame. I was doing Barkley for a while as well.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So I did that when I'm not sure what's his name, the original Barkley.
Was it
Was
Brian Meal?
I think it was, yeah.
Was it Brian? Was it Brian Meal?
Yeah, when Brian Meal retired, I took over for him. So I was doing one of the good things about when I was doing Barkley, I was doing a scene with Marty as Telly. So I was playing around with Barkley, and I said, "Oh, look what I done!" So I told Marty, I says, "Look, I can jump in the air." So I jumped up in the air with I took my legs off the floor and went airborne and came down on all fours. He said, "Wow, that's really good." He said, "Yeah, can you do it in the show?" He said, and the director said, "Yeah, add it, keep it in." I said, "Okay." So when I went up to Kelly, and I said, jumped up and came down, and he says, "Wow, that's great." And then the director said, "Oh, let's do it again." So I says, "Okay." So I jumped up again and came down again. And Telly said, "Oh, I missed that one. Do it again." I jumped up again and came down again. And Telly said, "One more time." And I said, went up to him and
Oh, that's
so,
great.
Anyway,
Oh,
so
that's hysterical. Wow.
eventually
That's awesome.
I got too old to do Barkley, so they gave it to Bruce at that time. And so I just ended up just doing basically Snuffy for the rest of the time. And basically, I guess, I'm not sure if you know, but I'm now the oldest performer on Sesame Street.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yes,
Huh,
I
wow.
actually came in about 6 months before Marty came.
Right, yes.
Yeah. So Anyway, and I'm also the oldest puppeteer on Sesame Street.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
So what I mean, things that we used to do, I think they I'm actually surprised that I'm still with Sesame Street because they keep asking me to come back over and over and over again. I'm not, I don't know if you guys know all of the things that Marty and I have done in Sesame Street. We actually ran a full mile on uh, the the bridge that starts the marathon, the New York City Marathon.
Oh yeah, right.
Yes,
Yes.
yes,
Snuffy ran
yes.
that marathon.
Yep.
And of
Yeah,
course, nobody knew Snuffy at the time.
Snuffy and Gordon.
Right.
Got
So of course,
that was such a fun
nobody knew
episode.
Snuffy at the time, so we had to hide him. So we would always come,
Right, yeah.
everybody was gone. So we started on the end, at the starting line for the marathon. And we actually had to run all the way up to the peak of that bridge so that the camera could actually get us to the top. Let me tell you, that was one long run.
I can imagine, yeah.
Yeah, I can
So
see
we've
that, of
done
course.
that. We actually they put us on a trampoline. And I'm not sure if you ever had two people on a trampoline, but to jump in unison is really difficult. Because when one people jumps, it's usually ended up going up and down and up and down.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard to get it like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they put us on it and we actually jumped and jumped and jumped and jumped and jumped and really synchronized. The thing is that I'm really adjusted to Marty's moves where I can adjust my moves so that we actually work together as a one-piece unit. And I think that's why he likes having me there, because whenever anybody else goes in for me, he actually like, when can we get Brian back? So we would do things like that. One of the bad things that happened, well, we went roller skating and ice skating as
Oh
well.
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
Snuffy got to roller skate a few times
Right.
too. That was
yeah.
cool.
We did the roller
Yeah.
skating and the ice skating. And then they tried to do an experiment. They wanted to make Snuffy look bigger or larger. So what they did was that they put a balloon, I guess it was one of those air balloons, into Snuffy and started blowing it up. And it got bigger. And I'm still in there, and Marty is still in there, and it's getting larger and larger and larger, and it's going, and eventually it gets up to where it's in the capacity of Sesame Street. And we do have a lot of sharp instruments in there that hold up the rattan that's holding the shape of Snuffy. And that balloon exploded right in my face.
Oh boy.
Yeah. And Marty immediately took his head out of Snuffy so that his head was outside of the mouth, but I had no place to go. All of that was in that balloon, went right into my lungs. And let me tell you, I was out for like about 3 or 4 days
Wow.
coughing. Yeah,
Wow.
I couldn't breathe, because of all that talc ended up.
Oh my
And I said, you
gosh.
guys do not do that ever again.
Oh boy.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's basically it. Uh, you know, um, that's what my life has been with Sesame Street.
Nice, nice.
That's great.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm kind of curious, how familiar were you with Sesame Street before you got on the show?
Uh, I never watched it. Believe it or not, I never watched the series. Uh, what, but the thing is that, and this is what I actually figured out a few weeks ago. When I was in Hawaii, uh, at the University of Hawaii, I actually ended up, I was actually asked to do a couple of commercials. One was actually being the Gatorade Gator.
Oh wow.
So I would actually go
Ooh.
around and, I'd be on the television, at news and things like that. And they would do commercials and things like that about Gatorade. And I was the Gatorade Gator. So they
That's
would do
great.
that. And another one that I performed, I'm not sure if you guys know him. He's a English character. His name is Mr. Blobby.
Hmm.
You
Yes,
can
I've
look him
heard of
up
it.
if you
Yes,
want to. He
I've
lasted
heard it.
maybe
Yes.
about 6 weeks or so, but he was this big blobby character that would go and kind of like he was in a parade, and he would just be pretty much be kind of like a um, he would harass people mostly, kind of friendly, but he would just kind of like be in the way and all the times. So so those two I were part of my career at the University of Hawaii as well. In the University of Hawaii, I was also a, mime. I learned mime by actually and searching, studying um, 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 what's his name? The very famous Mark. Um, I studied his work, and I ended up being a very good mime, and I actually toured throughout the state of Hawaii at schools and performances and on television and things like that as a mime artist as well. So
Nice.
that's another way that I, kept in the stage performance and television and things like that.
Nice. So when you first started doing the back half of Snuffy, you worked with the sadly passed Michael Earl. What was
Yes,
getting
that is correct.
what was getting to
That
know
is
him
correct.
like? Like what was he like as a puppeteer?
Mike had an idea of he uh, how he created how Snuffy uh, would work with him, and I could do most of the stuff, but I was only working with him for about one season.
Right.
Yeah, and half a season because it was actually only 6 weeks at that time uh, that I was working with him. Was it 6 months? 6 months with him. So and I adjusted to him. I was also getting to know because Mark when I uh, uh, when uh, Kermit uh, brought me in to get me introduced to Snuffy. I was working with Noel at the time and
Oh
trying
no,
to
McNeil.
work.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
love
Yeah.
Noel.
yeah,
Yes.
Great,
because
great friend of ours.
he wasn't performing at that time. He was still in the shop and building. But they put him in there because he had the height and I didn't. So we would, coordinate, how the steps gonna go, you know, when you can see his feet, when you cannot see his feet and stuff like that. Um, so it was, so I got to get an idea of exactly how the feet are and the back end would, and the tail, how, things that I could do with the tail and things like that, because at that time we had a stick in the back that would wiggle his tail back and forth. So, you know, I used what I learned with Noel, with what I with um what's his name?
Uh, uh,
Yeah,
Larry kind of, or I'm not talking about
yeah,
Michael Earl.
mhm, yeah. And then when Marty came in, then I was, pretty much able to uh kind of find out exactly what he was like. And after over the years and stuff, we got more and more uh you know able to kind of like know exactly what everything. So I mean, I know when he's going to turn his head to the left and when he's going to turn to his right. I know exactly the steps to follow him so that we don't, crash into each other, feet wise and things like that, because you can't have his back leg and my back leg, his going back and mine going forward at the same time. It would never be able to do that.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not. It's actually kind of a perfect segue, actually. So ever since Michael Earl stopped performing Snuffy, of course, you got to work with the wonderful Marty P. Robinson. Overall, what's it kind of like for you getting to work with him?
It's been really, really nice.
I'm
And
sure he's
and
Yeah.
just
and I'm and I
he is
and
just
I,
Marty's the
he's so nice to be
best.
with.
yeah, Marty's
Yes.
really, really great.
Yes.
Great friend of ours as well.
He's very kind in terms of making sure that I'm okay, as well as if he's doing okay up there. We always speak to each other, while we're in there, how you doing? Are we sitting? Are we moving? Uh, I'm not sure if you saw the movie, Follow That Bird.
Oh
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yep.
Great
Oh
Uh,
yes,
movie.
love Fall
did
Out
Marty tell
Birds.
you
Such a great
that
movie.
we were in the Snuffy for 6 hours
Oh no, he didn't
getting the
tell us
break?
that.
No, he
Wow.
did not tell us that.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
We were put in the nest, and we were just because Bird wasn't there at the time, because he was roaming around. So we were taking care of the nests while he was gone. So we were in the nests. Kermit kept us in there for 6 hours.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. Oh, one of the good think, thinking about being exhausted. When I was still doing Barkley, we did the they were doing a shoot. We were doing one of the movies, and I was doing Barkley at the time. And I'm not sure if you're familiar with Barkley. Barkley has no
Oh,
air.
absolutely, we
You,
do.
you can basically, the air does not circulate inside of Barkley. So basically, you can't breathe out of the mouth.
Mm.
So
Hmm.
we're doing the final shoot, and it was like this huge, full area shoot, uh, and the trainers, or the people, the assistants that help all the puppets, they told the director, you cannot keep Barkley in there for a long amount of time. So, because basically there's no air. So he says, okay, well, have them run around here and here and here and here. And then, have them, and then we'll stop. And then, so he can rest. So they said, okay. So they said, so they started the shoot and I did my run, I run around the fountain, came back, run around, and then I was supposed to stop. And they didn't stop shooting. They just kept running the thing. So I had to keep running. So I kept running. I started running a lot slower and eventually got slower and eventually got slower until they finally said stop. And I just fell on the floor. And the assistants ran to try and get the head off of me because I basically passed out. I mean, I was just no air whatsoever. It was really, really bad.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh my
So
gosh.
that was yeah. So, the long periods that we spend in there, they're really nice about it, but there are times that they forget about us.
Oh man.
Yeah, it happens. So I'm curious, do you have any favorite Snuffy episodes that he's been in?
Uh the one that where he's flying, he
Oh
becomes a
yeah, that's a great one. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I actually
Right.
choreographed
Oh
that.
my God.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
So and that was really, really a nice one. Another one that I choreographed was Snuffy doing the Hawaiian war dance.
Oh wow.
And yeah, I'm not sure if you remember, but and so that was one of the nice ones as well, that we did. I like it when we go to uh the Macy's parade and
Oh yes.
Yes.
yeah, Snuffy did actually a dance there as well.
Yeah, Snuffy got to be
My
on the parade
parade.
one year.
That's
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
right.
for
So
the for the 50th anniversary, yeah.
yeah. So we were
That was
there
so cool to
and
see. So
also,
great.
oh, we did a commercial for some car company when it was not too long ago. It's maybe about 3 or 4 years ago. And Snuffy was actually in the show. I mean, in the commercial. So they called us in and they put us out in the village. And we were standing on the side, and basically traffic came to a halt. Everyone said, "Look at that." That's Snuffy."
Oh, wait a minute.
And
I
the thing
think
is that,
I I think Jennifer Barnhart told us this story.
yeah, and
Yes.
basically, when the
Yeah.
wind would go by, and you'd
I
see
love
the
Jen.
wind go right across the spur, it was absolutely beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful. And they were ready to shoot. And Snuffy was on, in the place that they were shooting, and this dog started barking. And it's just barking and barking and barking and barking. And somebody said, the director said, can somebody please get the dog out of here? So they had to remove the dog so that they could finally do the shoot.
Uh, that's wild. Wow.
I love that. I
But
mean,
Uh,
yeah,
there's so many.
people would just come by us and it's just kind of wow. Because when the wind hits Snuffy, when Snuffy gets out into the real world, it's amazing how much people just look at him and just
I know.
completely adore, and they just look at him and they just can't, they just, oh, we don't see you enough.
Like no
Yeah.
matter what, if like it's not if there's like a his
Oh yeah.
walking.
It's like Snuffy
Sesame
sighting in
Street,
Manhattan.
and then
Yeah.
yeah,
Marty
and then
says,
like everybody stop it, taking pictures and videos.
Yeah.
It's Snuffy. Like oh my gosh, like I mean, so great for even in the Sesame,
yeah,
Muppets to
yeah,
just have their chance to do Beyond the Real World, and it's like oh
Yeah.
Oh
my
yeah.
gosh, it
yeah,
was so
exactly.
great about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Especially when you get the ones that are full, full height, body puppets. Those are really, really good.
Oh yeah.
Barkley,
Oh,
Snuffy,
absolutely, yeah, Barkley too.
all of that. Yeah, yeah,
Absolutely. So
yeah.
so one of the various specials that you and Marty worked on with Snuffy was the Don't Eat the Pictures special at the Metropolitan Museum of Art.
Yeah. Oh, do you know that? So that's the one that we were carrying somebody. Yeah, we were actually carrying a little boy on my back.
Yeah, yeah.
Now,
Mm-hmm.
you know that he's completely on my head.
Right, yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
because that's the only way that I can carry him.
Right.
So
Right.
he's on my head, and then he started jumping up
Mhm.
and down.
Oh no.
Oh boy.
I remember. I think I remember this
no.
story. I think
Oh
Marty told me that in a different
no.
podcast. I
Somebody
think Below the
please
Frame or
have him stop
somewhere. But oh my
jumping.
gosh,
Somebody asked him to
That's
please stop
crazy.
bouncing on my head.
I love that.
Exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, that was a fun one as well. And also, that there's a couple times I think it's always been off camera. But there's a couple times that Snuffy has eaten people.
Right,
Wait,
yeah,
really?
Yeah.
right, yeah, I've seen like a behind the scenes picture of it of like a kid that like went into Snuffy's mouth.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I've never seen
Exactly.
that. I have
Right.
never seen that.
Because you're
That's the
not
first
supposed to
one.
see it because it was
Gosh.
an after shoot.
Right.
And then every now
Wow.
and then he throws somebody else out.
Oh, that's great.
Marty.
Yeah,
Maybe it's for
so
the best we don't see that.
yeah,
I mean, yeah, because
That's just
that'd be
That
weird
just
to
makes
see.
the team really, really fun. We love working together and just kind of making, stuff, at a time. I used to go by and then kick people as I went by. Just to bother them.
oh,
So they
that's
would
great.
actually move away from me whenever I was walking by.
Oh gosh.
That's great.
I love
Oh,
that. Um,
oh wow.
Frankie got it most, basically. I was always, as whenever Frankie would always see, was near me, I'd always try and nudge him as much as I could.
oh my gosh, I love that.
That's great.
I want to like, I mean, I'm not no big at all. Of course, if you don't remember any episodes, going back to a little bit with episodes that you kind of mentioned, some of them they love. Some of them I love about that Snuffy got to appear in over years, including some of them where Snuffy walks Barkley episode where Snuffy takes Barkley to the park.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I think I remember that.
Yeah,
And then where like Snuffy like learning to sign language.
I don't
I
remember that one.
I don't remember that one. I know Linda used to be he used to do things with
Mm-hmm.
Linda.
Yep.
yeah.
And then one time he went to the movies.
Oh gosh. I don't remember that one either.
That's okay. That's okay.
I mean, oh my gosh! I just thought where one time like there's okay. I feel like you might remember that one more, where there's one episode where Snuffy is like learning to tap dance.
Oh yeah,
Tap dance. Oh
Yeah.
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 And
That
That's
was
on
then,
the.
the one that I choreographed as well.
Oh, nice.
oh wow, that's cool. And and the Snuffleupagus American Day Parade.
Mhm.
Yeah, a lot of
That
good
was so
ones.
cool. I know
A lot of
so
good
many that we
ones. I know, so many.
as Sesame
So many.
fans, we just can go on. So there you go, a part of that to me. Anyway,
Well, on a
Yeah.
with a with a parade, can you imagine how long it's going to take for Snuffy to walk the entire parade?
I
Yeah.
can imagine that would take
Yeah. I can imagine.
hours.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I don't think Marty and I would be able to up to that anymore.
Yeah, probably not.
Probably not.
I have written a script actually for Snuffy that they're actually not very happy about. I
Oh.
mean, the
Oh.
writer. Basically, Snuffy has an itch on his back,
Oh, okay.
and
Hmm.
he can't scratch it. So
Hmm.
he's trying to find a way to scratch it, and he can't find anyone. So he starts rubbing against parts of the building,
Oh,
and the
wow.
building starts falling down.
Oh
Oh
no.
my gosh.
I guess that's why they didn't like the idea.
Yeah, I guess. Well, I guess that's why.
I said you could do it on the last shoot of the season.
Yeah, basically. Oh man.
Yeah, I could see why they weren't happy with it.
No, but eventually everybody comes by and starts scratching him on the back.
Yeah.
So, and then
Ah, right.
that makes a nice picture.
Hmm. Right. Yeah.
Hmm.
So, you know,
I
but
love that.
we'll see.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yes.
we shall see. So, I'm curious, who are some of your favorite celebrity guests that you've worked with on Sesame Street? There have been a lot over the years.
Let me see now. I liked uh let's see. Uh Gosh, they're all really, really great. Uh I have actually there was a situation that happened. I was on a plane flying to New York, and I was sitting on a aisle seat, and this person sitting next to me, and there was another sit, and then there was another one at the window seat. So the wait, the um, the person came by with the food and asked me, do you want something to eat? I said, yeah, okay, I'll get the 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 potato chips. So she said, okay. So she gave it to me, and I purchased it. And the guy at the window said, oh, can I get some potato chips as well? And she said, oh, I'm sorry, he took the last one. So he said, oh, okay. So the guy in the middle said, give it to him. I says, why? Give it to him. I says, why? That's a celebrity. I said, it is? Who is it? So I looked, and it ended up being oh gosh, what's his name? Uh Kevin, Kevin, the one that was in, oh gosh, uh Kevin Klein. It ended up
Oh.
being Kevin
Ah.
Klein. And
Okay.
and he said, "Oh, I didn't know it was you. Hi, Kevin." And so he said, "Oh, okay, how are you?" So we started talking, and he says, and he says, "Well, how's things going over at Sesame Street?" I says, "How do you know that I'm in Sesame Street?" And he says, "You don't remember me?" I says, "No." He says, "We did a scene together." I says, "We did?" So here it is. The celebrity
gosh.
knows
Oh my
me.
god.
Now that I know him.
That's crazy.
Oh my.
Oh man.
Oh wow.
So we get these things, it's amazing. People come out and just out of nowhere and just say, "Hi, Bryant." I'm like, "Hi." Who was that? I'm sorry. My brain isn't as good as it used to be.
No, that's okay. That's okay. So, and if you don't remember, it's fine, but do you have any favorite songs that Snuffy got to sing? Or at least that
Uh,
you got to participate in, I guess?
oh gosh. I do. Um, we love his whenever he walks, that sign, that
Of
song.
course, I mean that'd be the classic, you know.
Yeah.
Uh, um, um, there's a lot of them. Yeah, there's just tons of them. A lot of them are the old songs that we used to sing. Smile, uh, you know,
Oh yeah.
things,
Sing.
sing,
Um,
things like that.
and then
Yeah,
there was a song called
the old songs. A
the
lot of the
Snuffle
older songs.
the Snuffle Shuffle,
Oh
Yeah,
yes.
where it was basically like Snuffy and Susan and the kids like doing
yeah.
some like snuffle exercises.
Mhm.
There was that
Yeah,
one.
and doing the Snuffleupagus.
Yeah, yeah. Those not so much, but more just the group sings that we do. Uh,
Hmm.
that they
Mhm.
just kind of like gives me a better source of the family of Sesame Street. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
of
No,
course.
absolutely.
I know
Mhm.
there's some sort of like a polka, which is
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Snuffleupagus polka
The
too.
okay. Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
That's easy because it's only a two-step. The choreography is very, very easy. It's just a two-step, one and two, and one and two, and one and two, and one and two. So,
Right. Kind
Right.
of get the rhythm. So that way
right.
you are more not gonna trip up or not or trying to you know.
I would hope not.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Another thing I want to
Yeah.
bring up is like the overall connection on the show between Snuffy and Big Bird. And
Yes.
obviously,
Yes.
someone else you got to work with very closely through that, who of course has passed on, is Carol Spinney.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What overall, because I've heard so many stories from folks about, how Carol was both as a puppeteer and overall as a person. Like what was getting to know Carol like?
Yeah. We were very, very close to Marty and I were very, very close to Carol. Uh, you know, um, it's it's really, really sad. Uh, but we had moments together that were really, really special. And you know, um, just it helped us a lot. He knew exactly what we needed, and we knew exactly what he needed, and we would really work really well together. Um, and uh, I wish there was more Big Bird and Snuffy scenes in the future
Oh,
because
absolutely.
the
Yeah.
the relationship between the two is I think it's starting to dim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I
Mhm.
will say, Matt Vogel has done a wonderful job with Big Bird now,
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
taking on that
he
character.
does a great job. He does a really, really good
Yes.
job. Yeah.
Yeah, someone, and he started out as Carol's like understudy for many years, and then when
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Carol
Yeah.
retired, actually took over the character like full time, and he just does a
Right.
wonderful job with him.
Yeah.
He's just the best. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So
Yeah.
aside from, because we already talked about you performing Barkley, what's it like getting to do right hands for characters?
I'm sorry.
Like get it like because I've looked up some other things that you've done, and you've also gotten to like assist different characters like doing right hands and things like that.
Actually, I stopped doing anything but Snuffy because I'm now in Chicago. I live in
Oh,
Chicago now.
okay.
So
Hmm.
I would love to, go back and do hands and other puppet characters throughout the thing, but it has to be on during the times that I'm there, and I'm basically only there for Snuffy.
Right.
Uh, and they have so many uh right hand people now. Their cat the puppeteer roster is actually pretty full right now.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
I'm trying to get see if David needs any work help here in Chicago because he has his own show here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yes.
Don
Donnie.
Quixote.
Don
Yes, I love
Quixote.
that show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Terrific show.
So I was going to see if he needed some help here so that maybe I can get some stuff on the side here.
Nice. Yeah, that would be wonderful. Yeah,
That'd be great.
absolutely.
Absolutely. So we kind of touched up on it earlier, but aside from puppeteering on Sesame, you've also choreographed for the show, specifically including the Baby Tooth and the Fuzzy Funk segments. What's it like, not just working on those in particular, but just choreographing for Sesame in general?
Yeah, it's amazing that uh, it it's basically most of the choreography is for little kids, and getting them to uh, you know they're base using really simple uh simple steps, and going through the choreography with them and teaching it to them. Let me tell you, working with these kids, I mean, I've always loved working with children. And and then when we get into the into the shoot, I'm usually on the back, and dancing it with them, and everything like that, and it's just so much fun. It's so much fun to be that with them, and teaching them and choreographing them and things like that. So it's been really fun with them, and doing the dancing and also dancing with the kids. I mean, I had to teach, I'm not sure if you remember, there was, I had to do a choreography for, uh, what was his name? I can't remember his name. He was uh, um, one of the, one of the actors. Actually, I've choreographed for, uh, you said that there was the polka, and
Hmm.
uh I also
Yeah.
did one for Louis and Maria. They
Ah.
did they did a uh, they did a dance throughout the entire Sesame Street uh stage. I actually choreographed something for both of them. It was it was a uh it was a foxtrot I choreographed for them.
Hmm.
And I also choreographed something for not Roscoe, but somebody else. He needed to learn how to do a tango. So I did a tango with him and taught him to do it with I think, was it Linda? I can't remember. Anyway, so yeah, I had some really nice choreographies with Sesame Street.
That's great.
Interesting.
Absolutely.
Interesting. Interesting. So, moving on from Sesame Street, you also puppeteered on the Disney series The Book of Pooh, which used tabletop puppetry. What was it like working on that show and that style of puppetry? Because it's a whole different ballgame as compared to like being Snuffy.
It's basically working with there was the puppets were on sticks,
Right.
so we had to and then so it was always making sure that the you know they because I have a vision of the human skeleton and trying to keep the puppets with the sticks to make sure that they're looking like what they're supposed to be, whether it be an animal or a pup or human or things like that, trying to make sure that they're looking as human as possible or as animal as like as possible. Um, I was also one of the I also did a movie with a hand puppet, um, and it was kind of like a little lamb, a very baby lamb that I just kind of like cuddled him into the corner and just kind of like moved him very softly uh, to make sure that people would recognize him, but remember that he's still a little lamb and there's only so much that he could do. Does that make sense?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So yeah, so it's learning all of these types of puppetry that I've learned through Sesame Street and through the other shows that I've done using puppetry is very uh, it's just taking uh, my uh, image and putting it into the puppet.
Nice. Nice.
That's great. Um, so now moving forward to more of your dancing roles, you perform in a Dance in America series with the New York City Ballet. What was
Yeah.
that experience like? Even though you kind of touched a little bit of that earlier, but what was that like overall?
It was, I mean, pretty much, I mean, they're fantastic dancers. I mean, and the people, ones that I've got to dance with, uh, they're, they were amazing. Um, uh, the dance, it's dancing at the school was interesting because I got to meet a lot of people as well. Some very high level dance teachers. Uh, Mikhail Baryshnikov would come in every now and then and get to dance with him. And uh, Rudolph Nureyev would come in every now and then and get to dance with him as well.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, so and it was I learned an awful lot at that time. I'm more of a character dancer rather than although I do the the prince every now and then, but I'm more of a character dancers. My favorite roles was as Tybalt in, in Romeo and Juliet,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and let's see, Puck in let's see now the Midsummer Night's Dream, and I was able to dance actually one of the dances choreographed by George Balanchine, chore, called Symphony in C. So the roles that I do in terms of dancing with Tybalt, because I played on Sesame Street for so long, uh, everyone knows me as Nice Guy. So knows that when I get to play Tybalt, boy, was I mean. And whenever after the performance, people would come out and say, "Boy, you're mean." So then I would also, one of the other roles that I would play in King and I. I actually was on the when Yul Brynner was playing on Broadway.
Mm-hmm.
He passed away, and the company went on tour, and I was actually asked to be the Home, which is the mean prime minister.
Mhm.
So basically, when I, when it's just basically after the waltz, when they find Tepton and kind of like treat her very nicely, I would treat her very, very nice, very horribly. I would grab her and says, "This is what you did." Told basically. And people would come after the show and says, "Boy, you're mean."
I was just about to ask about that.
So that's how Snuffy has rubbed off on me. And and also playing Puck. I was playing the choreography for New York City Ballet,
Mhm.
and I would be able to jump and all over the place and just do all kinds of things and just be really, really, sneaky and kind of like, so it was just really, really a lot of fun. Those were um, the Symphony in C, the uh, the um, Midsummer Night's Dream, and the Romeo and Juliet. Well, those are uh, my favorite pieces. I did choreograph actually, staged actually a ballet for a ballet company in Minnesota. It was called um, oh gosh, the Firebird.
Hmm.
I
Nice.
was actually the prince, and I had there was my partner was the Firebird, and I choreographed it for the entire company up in Minnesota,
Hmm.
and that was really, really, that was the only one that I really choreographed in terms of a ballet.
Nice.
Interesting. So, speaking of ballet, you've also worked with, I hope I'm pronouncing this right, the Briansky Saratoga Ballet Center. I believe I pronounced that right.
Oh, oh, how did you know about that? Yes. I was the director for the the Briansky Saratoga summer program.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
Hmm.
Basically, I would be up in Saratoga from uh, the end of June to the end of July, and I would be teaching and teaching and administrating the organization there. We would get basically a lot of teenage teenage and kid uh, ballet dancers,
Hmm.
and then we would that's basically what we would do.
Nice.
We would, and I'd also be the house father, not house mother, but the house father that kind of makes sure that the kids didn't get into any trouble as well. And boy, these little girls would sneak out of the house like you wouldn't believe.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Yes. And oh, I found the love of my life. He's a he's the boy that with the next program. I'm like, well, you have to have lunch. You have to have lunch with them. At least you're not, that's nice. Yeah. So yeah, I had did that as well. Um, Ballet Hispanico is the one that I was directing
Ah,
in New York City. It's that's the one that I was the high administrative director for about a year and a half.
nice, nice,
Yeah.
Gotcha.
nice, very nice.
That's great. That's awesome. So now, can you share any projects you're currently working on?
Uh,
Long as you
let's
can
see
allowed
now.
to talk about.
I'm actually semi-retired. Sesame Street is the only one that's actually what I'm currently working on now. And I wanted to see if Dave needed some help there. So I was going to see if he needed some help. So I'd get some work there. But basically, I'm not really working on anything. I do a lot of volunteer work. I currently work for the Red Cross,
Oh,
uh,
nice.
doing blood
Hmm.
drives and things like that.
Nice.
And I also work at the um, the marathons that they have here in Chicago. So I also work there as well. I do a lot of some other volunteer work here and there is whenever I can. Just trying to fill out the days.
Nice, nice.
Interesting.
Awesome.
Awesome. So, as we're about to wrap this up here, so the last question is this podcast is called Jake's Happy Nostalgia Show. When you think of nostalgia, what do you think of, or how would you define nostalgia?
Seeing myself as
Yeah, like how, like what do you think of when you hear the word nostalgia?
I think it's great what you guys are doing. I mean, you're getting to get the insight on, you know, things that are going on that other people don't really see, uh, you know, going on, around them. I think it's nice of what you guys are doing. Yeah, it's really, really, it opens up people's eyes. This, oh, I didn't know he did that. Oh, I
Yeah.
didn't know he did that.
Oh
You
yeah.
know, yeah, I didn't know that he was so mean.
Exactly.
Yeah, right. Agree
So
with
yeah, I
agree
mean,
with
it lightens people's up a little bit more, and because it, you we need as much happiness right now, especially what we're going through. You
Oh
know,
yeah.
to get people to smile more and just say, "Oh, this is good." Yeah, oh, that's really nice. That's you don't hear that very much anymore.
Right. Yeah. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, agree with on. Well, Brian,
Yay.
thank you so much
Uh,
for taking the time to do this, Brian. This was
Okay.
awesome.
I thank you very much for offering it, and uh, I hope I get to see it. And
You
Yes.
will. You'll definitely be able to see it. Yeah.
okay,
yeah, yeah, of course. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I will definitely send you a link whenever it
okay,
goes up, and I don't know. So yeah, thank you so much, Brian, for taking time to do this. It means a lot much. Do you want to
okay.
take time to
You're very
chat? It means a lot. So yeah, looking
okay.
for what more you're doing with Sesame, and even it goes with Don Quixote later on, or it goes
Okay.
what more for you.
Yes. Enjoy the rest of your day, Brian's.
Okay. Thank you very much.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Take care. Have a great rest of your day.
Okay. Bye.
Take care, Brian.
Bye.
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 It's goodbye from us as well. We absolutely enjoyed our time with the wonderful Bryant Young. Keep on the lookout for more wonderful interviews coming your way. And as always, what do we say, Jake?
Keep nostalgia alive together, everyone. See you next time. Take care. Bye.
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 Thank you for tuning in to another wonderful Jake's Happy Nostalgia Show episode. Be sure to follow Jake and the Happy Nostalgia team on social media, check out our website, and stream the show wherever you find your favorite podcasts. And as always, remember to keep nostalgia alive. Bye-bye.